In the world of big industrial water systems, we're talking cooling towers, chillers, boilers, the real workhorses. There's this silent saboteur constantly at work. It's a hidden problem, and it costs businesses an absolute fortune in wasted energy and equipment that just dies way too early. And believe it or not, it all starts with a number that seems almost ridiculously small.
1 millimeter. That's it. It's about the thickness of your credit card. I mean, it doesn't sound like much at all, right? But when you're talking about the inside of a high-performance heat exchanger or a massive industrial chiller,
well, that single millimeter is an absolute performance killer. It's basically a perfect insulating blanket that's choking your system's ability to do its job, and it's happening where you can't even see it.
So what is this stuff? Well, this mineral buildup, we call it scale, and it's this invisible enemy that forms inside your most critical equipment. It's just made of common minerals, things like calcium and magnesium, that naturally drop out of the water and then cling onto any metal surface they can find.
And just look at how fast this problem gets out of hand. At just that 1 millimeter we talked about, you've already lost 10% of your efficiency. But let it get to 3 millimeters, and that loss skyrockets to a staggering 40%. Your system is now working so much harder, burning way more energy just to get the same job done.
And it's not just an efficiency problem. It's a total domino effect. That scale narrows the pipes, so your pumps have to work harder. It makes your compressors run hotter and longer, which can spike your energy costs by 15, even 30%. And maybe worst of all, it traps moisture right up against the metal, causing this nasty corrosion that silently eats away at your expensive assets and just tanks their lifespan.
So for decades, the go-to solution has been, well, let's just fight it with chemicals, a constant barrage of them. But honestly, this whole approach is like running on a treadmill. It's this old-school brute force method where you're always spending energy and money, but you never actually get anywhere.
It puts you in this state of constant dependency. The second you stop dosing, the scale starts coming right back. Then there's the risk of human error. Someone tests the water wrong, or maybe they overdose, which can cause its own set of corrosion problems. And on top of all that, it creates chemical sludge, drives your operating costs through the roof, and becomes a real headache for your environmental and ESG reporting.
And this quote right here, it just says it all, doesn't it? You're basically paying a monthly subscription to manage a problem, not to actually solve it. It's a business model built on perpetual purchases, but it never offers a permanent fix.
But what if you could just change the rules of the game entirely? Well, this is where AE-Flux comes in. It represents a fundamental shift away from that old chemical model. It's a physical solution that prevents the problem before it can even start.
Just look at this direct comparison. In a normal system, minerals form these large, jagged crystals. Think of them like tiny, sticky barnacles. But in a system treated with AE-Flux, those same minerals now form these harmless little microcrystals that are physically incapable of sticking to anything. They just stay suspended in the water and flow right on through.
And the real beauty of this solution is just how elegant and simple it is. It uses zero chemicals, it needs no electricity. You install it one time, right in the pipeline, and that's it. It is a completely maintenance-free, fit-and-forget technology that's built to last for a very long time.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does it actually do that? It might sound a little like magic, but I promise you, the science behind it is well established and really clever. At its heart is a process called physical water conditioning. What AE-Flux does is apply a very controlled electromagnetic field to the water. This field fundamentally changes how the mineral crystals form and behave, all without changing the water's chemistry one bit.
So let's just walk through it. Water flows into the unit. The field inside transforms the hard, sticky crystals, they're called calcite, into a soft, non-sticky form called aragonite. The best way to think about it is like turning rock-hard superglue into harmless dust. It just gets swept away with the flow. And this right here is the most important thing to remember. Nothing is added to the water, and nothing is taken away. The water chemistry stays exactly the same. All AE-Flux does is change the physical behavior of the minerals. That's why it's so incredibly safe and so good for the environment.
So, that's the science. But what does it actually mean for your business, for your bottom line? Well, this is where that cool engineering translates directly into real, measurable gains you can see and feel.
Honestly, the results really speak for themselves. You see immediate energy savings, often between 10 to 25%. You completely eliminate that recurring operational expense for chemicals. You have far fewer shutdowns for cleaning, you extend the life of your equipment because you're preventing that corrosion, and you make your ESG compliance a whole lot simpler.
Let's look at a real-world example, okay? For a 500-ton commercial HVAC system, installing AE-Flux resulted in a measured energy saving of 18%. Now, for a system of that size, that translates into absolutely massive cost savings, year after year after year.
And this tech isn't just a one-trick pony for HVAC systems. It's proven to be incredibly effective across a huge range of applications. We're talking about descaling a plate heat exchanger in just 6 weeks, which completely eliminated the need for quarterly cleanings. Or, in a long pipeline, improving flow by 22%, which cut the pump's energy use by about 15%. It just works.
And in today's business climate, the sustainability gains are just as important as the financial ones. By lowering your energy consumption, getting rid of chemical discharge, and even helping with water conservation in some cooling tower setups, AE-Flux becomes a really powerful tool for any company that's serious about its ESG goals.
So all of this leaves us with one final, and I think very crucial question. Now that you know about this hidden killer of efficiency, and you know that a permanent solution actually exists, you really have to ask yourself, how much is that invisible layer of scale costing your operations every single day?